in this video we're going to talk about the class structure and kind of my philosophy on education, and I'm going to explain what we're doing and why we're doing it. So I do a flipped classroom, and we're going to focus on personalized learning. So what that means for you, a traditional classroom, you sit in straight rows, you come in, you sit down, you listen to the teacher talk or teach a lesson, and you go home, you do some homework, and that's it. You do it over and over again. So in the flipped classroom, we turn that upside down. So all of your content, all of my lectures, which they're not all lectures because a lot of this stuff's interactive. So all of your flipped content, because there'll be activities on different websites I'll link you to and different things. That is essentially what would be your lecture in class. So you'll do that. There will be some time in class to do that during PLT, which is personalized learning time. But you can also do it outside of class. You can listen to these videos in the car. It's really easy for you to be able to do that. And what that means for you is then when we come in and we're working on projects in class, what you would normally do in a traditional classroom for homework, you have access to me, the teacher, so the expert. So you've always got somebody to help you with those things, and you also have each other. So you've got your peers to help you with different things. I believe in collaboration, so there will be a lot of that, not group work, because in middle school, you think group work, you're working in a group of 4 or 5, one person does all of the work, you don't actually learn anything. So we're getting away from that, but you will work with people in groups to achieve different goals, and everybody will have their own individual purpose within that group. Some things that we do will be more group-based, and I will let you guys assign different things to different people, but those that choose to not do things won't be able to receive feedback, and eventually won't be able to get a grade, which we're going to talk about grades in a second. So that's pretty much it. And there's a video here, I'll send you a link that explains what flipping means, and another one here that elaborates on some of the benefits. So what that means for you as a learner is you can watch these videos at your own pace, of course within reason. So you do have to complete the course within a year. This is a 2-part course. So you will either have English 1 and Roundtable or Creative Writing, or you'll have English 2 or Honors English 2 and then Roundtable or Creative Writing. We're doing a 2-part class. If for some reason this course ends up being semester long, then obviously you have to finish these things within a semester. And we'll talk more about that. But you can watch the videos at your own pace, and there are in-class assessments that you'll do with those. And you can read some of the other benefits here. Hopefully it will make it more engaging because you'll be able to interact with each other during class and focus on applying those skills instead of just listening to the teacher talk. The great thing about the videos too is you get to choose when you listen to them. You don't have to listen to them all at the same time. If something is particularly hard, you can go back and listen to it again. If you know something already, you don't even necessarily have to watch that video. So those will always be there for you to interact with. So my role in this is I'm more of a facilitator of learning, so you will have some videos from me explaining what we're doing. But I'll also link you to other videos because there's other videos out there that can teach the same things that I can stand here and teach, and they can do it with a high production value. So I'm going to link you to those cool, engaging things. There's a lot of TED Talks that have some really cool graphics. And those are things that I can't, as a teacher, can't produce. So those are out there, and I'll show you where those are, as well as interactive websites. There's different grammar websites and games and things to help you work on that content at your own pace. So there'll be a playlist of things for you to go through. Obviously, I'm here to help. During class, pretty much every day we'll be able to talk one-on-one about what you're doing, what you're learning, where you want to go, the things that you want to create. And then feedback. So I mentioned earlier a little bit about grades. I'll give you feedback on what you're doing. It's not about the grade. And it's really hard to get away from that mindset of teacher gave me a thing to do, I did thing, teacher gave me a grade, I'm done with thing. So we're getting away from that. And you're going to create different things, and you'll go back and record some videos, and maybe you find that you need to record it again or you need to add some things to it. or you write an essay and you do a really good job with that essay, but you say, oh, you know what, I could have talked about this, and you go back and you make it the best possible product that it could be. Eventually that feedback will translate onto a rubric score. Johnston County Schools is working on a scale score from 1 to 5, and that of course might change. And that might change over time, so if you're watching this video later, I might have to explain that in class. But there will be some sort of scale score, and of course that will eventually translate to a number grade that goes into PowerSchool. But for our purposes, it's all about the feedback, and I will let you know how you're doing in that feedback. So if you are working at, say, a C level, I'll let you know in the feedback, hey, you need to do this really great thing here to make this better, and then what would have been considered a C, you get to improve and it becomes an A. And this allows you to go back and redo things and add things and get the A in the course. So we're trying to get away from grades. Don't worry about grades. This class is very fluid, so we'll come back to things that we've done at the beginning. We'll work on things kind of throughout. And of course there are going to be some deadlines, so we'll work on 4 or 5 projects throughout the course of the semester, and then of course when we switch over to the other part of the course, we'll do some 4 or 5 things next semester. So there are some deadlines, but there is also kind of fluid for what you need and what we need as a class, and that'll be different for each person and different for each class. So how this works for class time, you will have some PLT or personalized learning time where you can interact with the flipped content in class. You of course can do those things outside of class, and I don't want you to consider that homework because it's learning. That's what you're here to do at school. So don't treat it like homework. Don't treat it like this thing on a checklist that you have to do, because there's no set time for you to do it, and you can really do it wherever you are. So if you're in the car and you have a free like 30 minutes to watch a short video, you can do that then, or you can do it sometimes during the course. You will have to do some of this outside of class. There will not be enough class time for you to do that 100% in class. During that PLT time is also when you'll take the 10-question quiz that goes with each content assessment. So there will be a playlist of content, and there'll be an assessment that correlates with that. And you do have to make an 8 out of 10 on that assessment to be done with that unit. Okay, and I'll explain that more in class. So you'll get to take these quizzes several times, and there obviously will be different forms of the quizzes. But that guarantees that you actually master the content and learn the content, which is really cool. I've been doing this for the last probably about 2 years now, and test scores are better, students learn more, and overall students really enjoy this type of format. So I hope you will too, and I hope it'll work for you too. 80% of our class time will consist of projects. So what's not flipped and what's not content is you applying that content. So we'll be creating videos and writing essays and doing some really interactive things to get you to use the skills that I'm teaching. And we'll do all of that in class. And of course, if you have a group that you're working collaboratively on something, you can meet outside of class to do those things too. You don't have to do those within these 4 walls, but that is what our class time is for. And that's really it. It's great because you have access to me during class time to actually use these skills instead of just listening to me talk at you. So I hope you enjoy it, and that's kind of where we're going. If you have questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll try to explain this actually in person more as well. All right, thank you guys.